Hey guys, what's up? So my video last week about COLP seemed to get some really good feedback and seemed like it really helped some people out, so I'm really happy about that. This video will be most useful for people who are new to ROTC, whether that means, just joined this semester or are planning on transferring in, or maybe like a senior in high school getting ready for ROTC. Probably most useful for them, but I think everybody can take something away from this. And even if you're a senior in ROTC on your way out, you can, distribute this to your company, platoon, squad, whatever, and maybe share this video. But before I get started, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I did ROTC for all 4 years in college. I went from team member to senior year. I was the battalion XO for a semester, and then I was company commander for a semester. So I think I have a good handle of everything. I went through all the ranks, and I got to see both the staff side as well as the company leadership side. So I think I've got a pretty good handle on things. Along with that, I got active duty, which is what I wanted. I got my first branch choice, which was MI with FA detail, and I graduated as a DMG, Distinguished Military Graduate. Whoa. Alright, so enough about that. Here's my advice. I'm just going to give you a few quick points that I think will make a huge, huge difference. Keep in mind, these points aren't in any particular order. So number one, first thing I would recommend is participate, but not too much. You want to participate so your MS instructor or your leader, whoever's in charge, knows you care and they know you're interested and engaged, but you don't want to be doing it too much where you're a kiss ass, because there's a few reasons. One, nobody likes to kiss ass. Nobody. Two, you're going to look bad to the people around you in your class. And frankly, that is one of the most important things, is to have a strong relationship with those people, because you're going to be working with them until you get out of ROTC, and you're going to be relying on them more than you can think. It's really important that you have solid relationships with those people, and that those people think highly of you. So make sure you participate. One, it'll show that you care, but two, it'll actually keep you engaged, and you'll learn more, you'll be more into it, you'll just care more. But don't do it too much. Don't be ridiculous, over the top. Just participate. My second piece of advice is to make a strong first impression. Avoid messing up as much as possible in the beginning. So in ROTC, especially as a freshman, there's a lot of you, and you only have one military science instructor, maybe two if there's like some weird situation. But basically, there's not enough people who are going to be paying attention to you guys to really know who each individual person is. Frankly, until you get to your second, maybe third year, you're just going to be like, like that guy that they've seen around a lot. So it's super important to not have your first impression be you coming to PT or to class or whatever all jacked up, because you're going to be that guy who's jacked up the first time, so he's probably going to be jacked up the whole time. That first impression is so important. There's just not enough instructors and leaders around for them to really get like a personalized version of you in the first year or two. So whatever your first impression is going to be just so pivotal. So if you can make a strong first impression, that'll really go a long way. And it's kind of, not good, but a lot of times things will get messed up and people will go off of their gut of who they think is responsible, what they think happened, because it'll be impossible to fully figure out what happens. Let's say, something gets messed up, and it could be either this guy who comes to PT all messed up a lot of the time, he skips stuff, etc., or it could be a guy who, is volunteering for details, is asking questions, staying engaged. They're automatically going to assume it's this guy, even if it was this guy. So number three, kind of going off the first impression thing, the first PT test is so important. It is so, so important for you to stand out and make that good first impression, and to get on your MS instructor's good side and all of that. Like I said, for a while, they're not really going to know you that well. They'll have a sense of you, but not like, they're not going to know you. Know what I mean? So for a while, they're going to be judging you just off kind of numbers and your first impressions. And one of the biggest numbers they'll have, especially before you have a GPA, is your first PT score. It really means a lot. Like a lot. Now, if you mess up your first PT score or whatever, it's not going to be held against you that much, unless you're like really failing, then that's not good. Especially if you're a national scholarship winner and you're really failing, that's really not good. Don't do that. But they understand that taking the PT test, there's some things you just have to kind of get used to. You can raise your score just by taking it a couple times and getting used to, okay, maybe if I do sit-ups like this, I'll be able to pump out a few more. or, you know, if I pace my run like this, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But if you can stand out on that first PT test, you're gonna look really good. Piece of advice number 4 is to ask questions. I'm not talking about so much in like MS class and to your MS instructors. I'm talking about to your leadership. Especially if you're new to ROTC, you're not really going to know what's going on a lot of the time. So ask questions, because 1, it makes you engaged and looks like you care and everything. But 2, the older cadets actually really like seeing that people care, and they feel good when they can help out the younger cadets. Now, I'm not saying ask stupid questions that you could just easily figure out yourself. If you can figure out the question yourself, figure it out yourself or look it up yourself. But stuff that you just wouldn't know. Like, let's say you're doing some kind of a lab or something and about patrol bases, and the people above you are trying to get really deep into it, but you don't even really know what a patrol base is. You should probably ask a question, and they'll recognize, okay, yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. And, you know, this person is paying attention. They're into it. They actually want to learn. Let's help them out. My 5th and final piece of advice, and it's kind of a summation of the other ones, is don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. If you know you're supposed to come to PT shaven, come to PT shaven. You gotta wake up, an extra 10 minutes early or do it the night before? Just come to PT shaven. If you know you're supposed to be at flag duty at a certain time, just be there at a certain time. Don't be 10 minutes late, you know, making everyone wait. Don't be that guy. Just do what you're supposed to do and don't slack off for no reason. It doesn't help anybody, and it makes everybody frustrated, and it makes you look bad, and it's going to make your classmates dislike you more, and it's going to make the leadership think poorly of you, and just don't do that. Just don't do that. Now, I understand, and everyone understands that every now and then something comes up, but really, really wholeheartedly do your best not to have that stuff happen, because it's only going to do bad things for you. Anyways, guys, that was my ROTC advice video. I really hope it helps you out. Just really keep in mind, in the beginning, it's hard to get to know every single cadet. There's only a few cadre, and they have a lot on their plate, a lot of cadets. The juniors are about to go off to summer training. The seniors are getting their duty components and stuff. You know, some sophomores are heading to Culp and stuff like that. It's really hard to get to know the new people because there's just so much other stuff going on. So do your best to stand out, be engaged, and really just kind of be a team player. That's the most important things. I hope this helps. Please let me know. If you don't already know, I'm a new second lieutenant. I commissioned this past May. I'm about to head off to BOLC very soon actually. So subscribe to join me on this journey. I'm going to be documenting my life in the military as best as possible for a few reasons. 1, for me to look back on when I'm older. 2, to help people hopefully like you, who are going to literally be doing pretty much the exact same stuff I'm going to be doing. So if you can watch my journey and see where I fail and see what I do well in, hopefully you can learn from that and do even better than me. That's the hope. And 3, to provide a window to people who aren't in the military or don't really know anything about the military, to kind of give them a look inside and just see what we do and, you know, what we're like and all that. So that's all I've got. Leave a comment if you like this video. If you didn't like this video, if there's any other videos you'd like me to make, I'd be more than happy. I reply to my comments, and drop a like if this helped. That's all I've got, guys. So keep going.